Welcome everyone. Today we have the pleasure of chatting to Mr. Dowdney, who recently used Kola Construction for a resin bound surface on his driveway. Mr. Dowdney, thank you for joining us. Let's dive straight in. Could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what led you to consider a resin bound surface for your driveway?
Yeah, certainly. So my wife and I moved into this property, which was a 1959 bungalow, in 2019, beginning of 2019, and we set about a sort of a 2-year plan to redevelop the property, which we started ultimately last year, and we always knew that towards the end of the project we would be looking for a nice driveway to just set it off at the front of the house. So that's kind of the background, and that's one of the final touches was to get the drive done.
Right. Okay. How did you first come across Kola Construction? And what caught your attention about the company?
So we'd already had a quote from another company, and we were basically looking for additional quotes. So someone had come to the door basically, and it was just that the time was right. My wife did some research on the internet for various companies, and that's how we found out about yourselves.
Oh, okay. So did the person at the door, you found them friendly?
So it was another company. They were absolutely fine. In fact, their quote was even lower than yours, but we didn't have that same sense of assurance that we had with your company.
Oh wow, brilliant. Well, thank you for that. There are many options out there. What ultimately made you choose Kola Construction for your project? Any specific features or aspects that stood out? I take it as basically what you just said, kind of.
Yeah, firstly, we weren't sure at the beginning of the journey whether it was going to be tarmac, whether it was going to be block, or whether it was going to be resin. We both ride motorbikes, and we determined that actually what we wanted is A, for the look, the resin finish, B, for the reduced kind of maintenance aspect, and C, because if you have a tarmac drive, your stand or your motorbike can push into it on a hot day. So resin, we decided upon resin, and in terms of the interactions we had through the sales channel, Joseph within your company, he was able to really answer all the questions and concerns we had around whether it was going to be reinforced concrete, whether the manhole covers would be replaced and filled with resin, and all the things that were going through our minds, how the level of the land would be, because we're on a bit of a hill. So all of our concerns were answered by Joseph, and then subsequently delivered by the team.
Brilliant. So Joseph, so you basically have that reassurance of the knowledge of Joseph, our team member.
Yeah.
Before the project began, what were your expectations, and did Kola Construction meet or exceed them at all?
So they definitely met the expectations. Yeah, we had one issue where the manhole cover wasn't quite lined up with the manhole itself, and before they did the resin, they came back and they recentered that and cemented it in. So that was one concern that we had, but it was responded to immediately by the team. And there was a bit of rubber missing on one of the seals, and they came in with a new piece of rubber and put that in as well. So the only concerns we had were addressed immediately. The team worked pretty hard, actually, I have to say, long days to get the job done. I think expectations were definitely met.
Brilliant. Well, that's good to hear, and obviously detail was thought of in the actual product as well. Effective communication is key, as you know. How would you describe your experience working with the team at Kola Construction throughout the project, as in communication-wise? Was everything?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. So Joseph was constantly checking that we were okay. He came in after we agreed to do the work. He came back with samples of slate, because we've got a bit of slate to the side of the house, where we didn't necessarily want the resin. So he followed through on his commitments of showing us different materials. Monica, who's in the office, was very good at reaching out to us by phone and email through the installation, because clearly they lay the concrete, they go away, they let it set, they come back and do the resin. So it's a process. It isn't all done in 1 or 2 days. They go away and come back, but that's because the concrete's got dry. So there was constant communication, even though people weren't actually here at the time.
So you knew where you stood.
I knew where we stood. You know, there wasn't a requirement for, you know, it all to be paid up front or whatever. There were installments with the invoices, which is great, and we were, you know, doing that with Monica. Final payment wasn't until after we were satisfied with the drive.
I was about to say, I think I actually got involved with you.
Yeah, that's right, you did, with the extra little bit of slate, you know, that we wanted. Yeah.
See, that just shows that obviously sometimes not everything goes to plan. However, at Kola, we try and make sure the customer is 100% happy. You had this kind of last bit of the slate that needed to be
because there was a few bits of slate that weren't the right colour. It wasn't charcoal, it wasn't black, so I'd taken those out, which added up to about half a bag, and you brought around 2 bags, so super.
And we did that, I basically did that in the same day, so you were happy. So that's
cool.
I feel privileged that I'm part of that.
Part of the team.
Part of the satisfaction. Now the project is complete, how satisfied are you with the resin bound surface on your driveway? Does it meet your expectations in terms of quality and aesthetics?
Yes to both, I'd say. You know, I think the colour is lighter than we thought, right? So any advice to anybody else, you know, buying a resin surface, you might just want to look at an example of somebody else's that is the colour you want. Yeah. Having said that, it is exactly what we want, right? So although you know, a sample is never quite the same as, you know, the large expanse, the mass. It's perfect. It's exactly what we wanted.
I think you went for shadow.
Yeah, we went for Moon Shadow. We assumed or felt that from the sample it was going to be a bit darker, but actually, and it's just the way things work out, because we've got the stretchers, the bricks around the outside. If it had been darker, they would have looked a bit light, and we wanted those a bit darker than dry. So it actually all worked out really well.
So you're happy with the actual finish?
Very, very happy with the finish. Happy with the workmanship, and the aesthetic, as you say, is exactly what we were after.
Now it's finished. I can see it fully open.
Yeah. And I have to say, when our motorbikes got picked up to get serviced the other day, when we went to pick them up from the service place, they were talking about the drive.
Oh really?
At the Triumph dealership. So you know, the reputation of the drive preceded us.
I know. I see the school. Quite a lot of people come down the road, and I heard a couple of
admiring glances,
admiring your driver as they pass.
Yeah. I think people know that when you make an investment in something quality, you know, it shows.
Yeah, definitely. Were there any specific moments or aspects of the project that stood out to you as particularly impressive or memorable?
You know, I think it was just effective and efficient. I think the team that came here, they just worked non-stop. You know, that it's exactly what you'd want from a builder, from someone doing this. You know, that gave me a sense of assurance, which started with Joseph from the sales process all the way through to delivery. So I wouldn't say there was one moment other than all expectations were met as we went through the process.
So the whole customer journey. You feel like the customer journey is high, and you're
and I'm in customer service, so I kind of know what that's about.
Brilliant. Can't be fairer than that. If someone was considering a similar project, would you recommend Kola Construction? If so, why? I'll take it you're going to...
Yeah, no, I would. Absolutely would. So look, they weren't the cheapest quote, I'll be honest. Yeah. But, you know, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. Yeah. And I think that's you know, a fair adage, right? So I think the for me, I got exactly what we were expecting, and there was no concerns, issues, or, you know, sleepless nights worrying about something not being right. And the only thing that wasn't quite right was the manhole cover, and that was resolved immediately. You know, resolved by the team way before.
And then obviously the slate and everything.
Yeah, and the slate, and just
so
that was minor. They're all minor things really, but as a customer, it can become major if you don't feel you've been listened to, which we always were. So I would recommend Kola. I absolutely would, and you know, if we do another project in the back garden, then I'm pretty sure that I would probably come back to Kola.
Yeah, that's actually leading on to my next question.
Oh, is it? Right, sorry.
Are there any future projects or services you'd consider using Kola for?
Based
on your experience.
Yeah, no, I would.
Kind of just,
I've answered the question already, haven't I? So yes, we would like something done in the back garden. I don't know whether we do resin, whether we would do you know, slabs, you know, sort of porcelain look slabs.
Which is obviously another service we offer.
Well, I know you do the full gambit, right?
Yeah.
So we might well do resin again, but my mindset at the moment is probably a porcelain sort of look slabs. But so that will be the next project we do, but it probably won't be for another year or so.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you still use us again. And like I said, Kola is fully comprehensive, so we do a whole range of services. Well, thank you, Mr. Dowdney, for sharing your insights with us. Any final thoughts or words of advice for individuals considering a resin-bound surface or working with Kola?
No real words of advice for working with Kola. I think resin might not be for everybody. It certainly was for us because of the look and because of us having the motorbikes. Also, it adds a bit of texture because you've got the white and the grey and the black, so it's better than just the black, and it's less maintenance than the block paving. So that's why we landed where we landed.
Yeah, I completely understand, because it's that, and you've got such a colour range on resin that you can just really match it to the aesthetics of the property. Well, that concludes our interview with Mr. Dowdney. Thank you all for watching. Special thanks to Kola Construction for their outstanding work and my team. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. But until next time, thank you, Mr. Dowdney.
Thank you.
Thank you for using Kola, and we'll hopefully see you soon.